title of the talk is Rethinking Urban Construction and Reconstruction Through Informal Settlements, a Syrian Historical Perspective. Valerie.
Good afternoon. Bonjour. I'm happy to see you all there, and before I start, I would like to thank the MIT and the AKPIA program for Islamic Studies for inviting me to this conference. Thank you very much. And also, before I give my introduction, as you may realize, I'm not a native English speaker, so please, I apologize if I make any language mistakes. So I'm here to talk about the reconstruction of Syrian cities through the lens of informal settlement studies. In fact, I would like to show how informal settlement domain of research and the reflection on reconstruction are linked. Just to explain my point of view, I need to tell a little bit about myself. I was trained as an architect and as an urban planner, and now I'm a research fellow at French National Institute, Research Institute for Sustainable Studies, and I'm researching since 25 years, even before I was in this institution, on informal settlements and on policies towards these neighborhoods. So what I would like to do is to use some of the results coming from this domain of research to give you a particular insight on the question of the reconstruction policies of Syrian cities. So the question of informality should be considered with a very particular attention in the perspective of the Syrian reconstruction. Why? First, as you may know, before 2011, more than 30% of the cities in Syria were informal settlements. Second, during the conflict, as in every conflict, the urbanization have become more informal. I will develop. Third, according to some estimation, more than 2/3 of the destruction are located in informal neighborhoods. You can see that, for example, on this map of Aleppo, the gray parts are the informal settlement. It's a map from GIZ. And the red dots are the damaged buildings. And you can see, with the exception of the center, the old city of Aleppo, the great majority of damage are in informal settlements. So it's a bit weird to think about reconstruction of areas that are informal, because areas that are informal are destined to be demolished in the mind of policymakers. So how to think the question of reconstruction when you link it to informality? Beyond this, informal settlement and reconstruction are specially linked for more general reason. First, both they are coming under the category of public action. To make reconstruction is public action. Well, everybody is reconstructing how may reconstruct his building, but the reconstruction is a question of policies. And informal settlement, it is the same. It is a category of public action. That means that these areas are pointed as places that cannot stay as they are. They have to disappear. They have to change. They have to be upgraded. They have to be demolished. Anything, but balance between upgrading and urban renewal. I would like to define these two words because I'm going to use these words for 30 minutes. So what I mean by upgrading is when you have something which is some buildings or some neighborhoods which are destroyed or which are inadequate or which are you would like to make them better or to repair them, or so this is upgrading. And even if it's war, it has been demolished. When you upgrading, I mean by that you rebuild the building more or less as it was. A new one, but as it was before, on the same plot, more or less the same height. What I mean by urban renewal, meaning that, okay, you have a whole neighborhood and you have all the gravel and you just put everything out, put new roads, new buildings, new master plan, and you make a new neighborhood. This is urban renewal. And this is what is happening now in Syria. I forgot to tell you the fourth reason why it is the question is really important in Syria now. It's because the laws that are the most emblematic laws that have been enacted in Syria recently to prepare the reconstruction, these laws are built on other decrees that have been tailored for the urban renewals of informal settlement. So we are really really speaking about what is informal, what we should do with informal, what we should do with city. So my presentation will be in three. Where is the time? Okay. My presentation will be in three parts. First, I will present what is informal settlement in Syria before 2011 and after 2011. Second, what was public action and urban informality before 2011 and after. And then, what are the representations that governs urban public action, which are the same on informal settlement and on reconstruction. So informal urbanization in Syria, I'm going to go quite quickly. I don't know if you know about a little bit about it. What is informal urbanization? Informal settlement is like we can use the word slum, but it doesn't. It's not very. Well, I prefer to say informal settlement here. It has an international definition, but it is in every country. It's a different definition because it is defined by laws. So it is defined locally. It's a local category. It is defined by laws in Syria. And as you may see on the little table, there are different laws have been enacted, and so that means that the definition is moving from time to time. So that means that the category is moving also. The definition in Syria is mukhalafat, means what is the building in infraction? What are the infraction in buildings? It's both. Building in infraction, meaning that building without permit, without license, and infraction in building, that means building that has a permit but they build more, they build differently. So the first informal settlement are under the first category, the first of the two. It is building which are have not permit for different reasons. They are leased because they contravene the master plan, they are on public or expropriate land, they are too fragile, there is in a zone that cannot be legally built on, it contravenes the construction. Every law has its own list, but more or less it's the same. It's okay. It was forbidden to build, and they built. But this is the definition of one building. What is informal sense? Then informal settlement, there is no definition. zone of collective contravention. And it's very difficult to census, so there are other criteria. I'm not going into the detail because I can spend 3 hours on this question. So I'm just going to say what is important to make a map finally, and to make a census. The urban fabric is really important. As you can see on these photos, we really can see the difference between informal settlement and formal because of their urban fabric. And why? Because of the urban fabric? Because urban fabric is done by the standards and the laws. That means that, for example, you will have narrower street, lower building, no setback. All these norms make that you have a different urban fabric than in formal. And so from there, we could have a map, and so just a map of informal settlements in Damascus before 2011, and that was around 40% of the population of the agglomeration of Damascus, which is 1.6 million inhabited. A few other information about these neighborhoods. There were two kinds, building on agricultural land, or the people, they bought the land, but not very formally, it was forbidden to build on it, or they were squatting on public land. So it is two different main kinds. And I will quickly show a few photos to show something which is important to understand. That informal settlement is defined as negative. Okay, it is the place that has to disappear, that cannot stay like that. So we have to make some policies, either demolish, either demolish and rebuild, either upgrade, but it is negative. It cannot stay like that. But in fact, it is, and it is 50 years that researchers are telling that, and it is a mode of urbanization. It is not a problem per se. It is a problem for the people who are living in it, because they lack some infrastructure, they have insecurity of tenure, they have inadequate housing. But it is also a solution to house millions of people and billion at the level of global level that have no other solution. They have no money to go elsewhere. So it's a place where you have social mixity. What is really different in Syria than in other countries, that it is built in concrete. There was a quite security of tenure relative, because Hafez al-Assad in 1975 said, okay, we cannot destroy any of these buildings without replacing it if they are in concrete, with a roof in concrete and so and so. So that's why they are all in concrete. They are all more or less serviced and with an infrastructure, which is very rare also in the world. So they have, not as good as service as the formal neighborhoods, but still they are. There are sort of continuity with the formal city, a very high occupancy of buildings. There is no empty buildings, as we can see a lot since a few years in the world. There is functional mix, very interesting social fabrics, and also you have pedestrian street, shadow street, density, compacity, social use of public space. All these characteristics that we say that it is a sustainable city. And also, potentially, there are very sustainable cities, in fact, and even they have green roofed, and it's a sort of adaptation, local adaptation to climate change. I'm going. And last point, a few slides fabric and culture. You know, people say, okay, no, it's not good urban fabric. But in fact, in terms of scale, building height, street width, rhythm of facade, volume, it is similar to those outstanding beauty in Mediterranean. And this is, on the left, we'll have also a photo of informal settlement in Damascus. And on the right, here you have Tunis, Sidi Bou Said. Here you have a town, Antibes in France. Here you have another town in France. Here you have Roma. This is a bit like, you know, striking photos just to have an idea of what I mean. This is Barcelona, and this is Cassune on the left, and Santorin in Greece. So what happened since 2011? Since 2011, there is a more informal urbanization. First, informal settlement had a great extension from 2011. Immediately, the first day, the people they started to build. So you can see the evolution on the three photos down. And some estimations say that we have maybe 100,000 violations in 2015. So a huge growth of informal buildings. Second, we have to imagine how the urbanization changed in Syria in 7-8 years. The urbanization was 56% before 2011, and now it's 73%. Have you seen any urbanization going so quick in a country? It's huge. And even with all the people who went out, there is still 2 or 3 million more city dwellers. At the same time, a quarter of urban dwellings are damaged or destroyed. So the population has grown a lot, and the number of houses have diminished from a quarter. And half of the population have moved. 6 million refugees, 6 million displaced. Okay, I'm not going into that, but roughly. That means that you have upheaval of prices, thousands of transactions, rental rates who went up, and increase of tenure and security and precariousness, which is the characteristic of informal settlement. I'm not describing squat, rent and sell of other assets, eviction, appropriation, confiscation, precariousness, overcrowding, problem of living conditions, division of apartments, sharing rooms, living on unfinished apartment. I'm not developing that, but it is really an informalization of the urbanization in Syria. Now I'm coming to my second part. Time is running. I would like to say, I'm going to go quick. There is upgrading and urban renewal. Upgrading, I explained to you what the definition I give it. Allow people to stay on the spot, generally, except when you are gentrification, but mainly upgrading goes with population staying on the spot. You have an example on the top of upgraded neighborhoods in Syria. Urban renewal is down. You have population displacement. Here, before there were informal settlement in this place, now there are high-end apartment in this place. This is urban renewal when I say urban renewal, and it involves population displacement. And this happened since maybe 20, 30 years in Syria. Please don't look at this table, it's in French. I just look at the colors. So, these are all the new laws from 2000 to 2010, 11. Before, all the laws on urban planning and housing and investment were from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And you had a new set of laws from 2000 when Bashar al-Assad arrived as the president. And so you have a lot of laws, and there are sort of competing situation for 10 years, with some laws who stimulate upgrading and regularization, this the orange ones, and others who encourages urban renewal and investment. So you had both movement during these 10 years. And you had a boom of construction, as you can see, and very big project. Okay, but what is important to show is this parallel, this double movement. It is the same with urban program towards informal settlement. You had some program who were promoting upgrading, and other were promoting urban renewal. Here's a list of all the programs that are at that time, and so again we could see. So those who were promoting upgrading were more with the Ministry of Local Administration. Those promoting urban renewal were more linked to Ministry of Housing. But we had these both movement. And so at the end, you could have a map with, this is informal settlement, so the red and pink ones were places where policies wanted to have urban renewal, and the green one is where you had upgrading planned. And the yellow, there were nothing planned. And just have a look on this place, because this is the place of the decree 66 that everybody has talked about in these last years. So what happened post 2011 policies? In fact, these two movements continued, but one after the other. In 2011, the government wanted to calm the situation, and so there were a lot of upgrading announcements. 60% of the informal settlement will be upgraded. There is a national upgrading policy. It was adopted, and then an announcement that all the informal settlement will be legalized. And in 2012 there is a term, and from that time it's also the time where destruction and fighting started. And in addition to war, destruction and bombings, the informal nature of settlement began to be an argument to demolish them. And so you had a new decree saying you have to eliminate all irregular buildings. The anti-terrorism law went on top of that, and this decree to redevelop informal settlement, 60/2012. So you had both the movement. First, these law there was destruction of informal settlement without fighting, and the urban planning was used as a weapon, because in fact, as I just told you, urban renewal is always a mean to push people outside. So having this big, very big region in urban renewal was a real good way to push people out. So owners, inhabitants. I'm not going to enter into the detail of this, but the main point is to remember that, well, these projects have been planned before and then abandoned, and because of the war, because of the conflict, it was reused for that. And then, in line with the 2012 policies, you had new policies on informal settlement, again with two categories. Okay, these informal settlement we're going to renew, and these we are going to upgrade. But the one that they are going to upgrade were populated with people who were alliés from the regime, and those who were designed to be renewed by urban renewal, by project like this one, were the opponent informal settlement. And then this law 10 from last year is the extension of Decree 66, and now it can this urban renewal can happen everywhere in Syria, with the idea of demographic change. Sorry. And the president justified that the homeland does not belong to the one who lives in it, the homeland belongs to the one who defends it. So it is clear in the mouth of the president that, okay, the land is not anymore for those who were against the regime. I come now to my third point, and this is coming from a reflection, a more general reflection that I had on Syria, but also on other countries, on how people are thinking and when they would like to make urban planning. Urban planning is not like a technical thing, and urban planning is really decisions are made in negotiation under power relation. It's always very political, but it's also a technical question. So the question was how people are thinking, because okay, you have people are negotiating, organizing a project, but everybody has in his mind a different way of thinking, and with ideal and strategic reasoning. They can have, okay, ideal reasoning meaning, okay, what is the ideal city, what is the social change I would like, but also there is strategic reason, okay, who will have the land, what is the territory, where is it valuable land, you know. You have, all this is in the head of all the people who are working in decision for urban planning. And so I had dozens and dozens of interviews, and so finally all these representations are around the question of land. And again, the land value, the land rights, the land territoriality, and the land, I cannot say use because it has another term, let's say utilization. So for each, the way you think what is urban value, it goes to upgrading, or it goes to urban renewal. If you think that the land value is a financial value, the land, its value is financial. It's for landowner. It's the building rights, it's the location. Okay, you will say, okay, we have to build something new there because there is a high value of land. But if you think that the value of the land it's a social, economical, and environmental value for the city. For example, okay, we have poor people living there. This is a value for the city because if they go elsewhere, you will have pollution with transportation. You will have the people will be more poor because they will have to pay for the transportation, and it's an economical interest to that these poor people live in the center of the city. The value of the land, you can think it differently, and if you think it from one way or the other, then you will push for upgrading or for urban renewal. It is the same for the land rights. If the right of ownership is preeminent, okay, you say, okay, this is the people, it is the people. But if there is an occupancy rights recognized, which was the case in Syria, and this is the reason why you had these two parallel kind of policies. The land territoriality, even if it's not conflict, if it's not war, there is a political reason. If there is political opponent, it's an area to here, so you will manage to have urban renewal there. But if it is the people that you would like to keep here, and for political reason, for vote, for any political reason, then you will go for upgrading. And the last thing is the land utilization. Is it? Are you wishing only have aesthetical and technical standard? Everything has to be ordered, safe, regular, planned, and you will go for urban renewal. But if you think that there is an urban fabric, there is a social fabric, that you cannot just break it like that, there is a memory, there is people are living here, it's not only technical standards, then you will go for upgrading. So after this was before 2011. After 2011, it's nearly the same. The only thing that changed is that with the land rights, that the right of ownership is preeminent. This is 2000. Yeah, I'm finished. And so this is the same way of thinking, and that's why I wanted to tell you that it's the same way of thinking with informal settlement and in reconstruction projects. So my conclusion, I would like to really to focus on the fact that informal settlement studies are a really interesting viewpoint from which to analyze current policies in Syria. Because really policies of reconstruction have some similarity with policies dealing with informal settlement. So they both have to deal with areas that are demolished or that are intended to be demolished. Both have the alternative between rebuilding or upgrading the city with its urban fabric, its social fabric, its memory, sometimes with its illegalities. In Beirut, the project of Ouad in the southern suburbs, they rebuilt with all the illegalities. So it's a question of political will. You cannot hide behind the fact that it is illegal and we are going to change everything. If you want to rebuild illegal things, it's done in the next country. And the urban renewal, or the other solution, urban renewal, modern, new standards, new urban fabric, and overall without the inhabitants. So the informal settlement studies have shown that changing urban fabric to transform it modern and legal one have pushed all the inhabitants, and this logic, it's in the definition. It's in the definition itself. Push the people outside because they just cannot afford the standard. In the 2000 in the area with the decree 66, they are going to build hundreds of new apartments, but for high end. This is not the question. People don't need that at that time. So it is really clear that everything is done now to make it difficult for the people to keep their property, or at least their rights, attached to the fact they were living there. And actually there is currently there is an unprecedented existing population change, and this would be reinforced through such policies of renewal. Because few titles, informal settlement, many register and title are destroyed. The refugees, some studies showed that they had only 20% have get their title, and they have the problem of heirs and the problem of opponent. They cannot go back to get their land. And even those who have, they will have very small shares, and next to big owners, they will be minority. So the ownership, second thing, the ownership structure, we are in either of a major upheaval because everybody's moved. Okay, so all the property have moved. This is is one thing, but also with that kind of project, we have a transfer of land ownership to investment companies. So everything will change in terms of ownership structure. And also, yes, I skipped that before, but there were also a privatization of the urban, because now the cities can make holdings and these holdings going to manage the cities. Okay, just to finish a little hope, I don't know. Implementation has started for a few regions in Damascus. So the Decree 66 probably started also on Daraya and maybe on Joba. But that needs financing, that needs investors, and so even if any places in Syria could be under this renewal law, is it going to happen? This nobody can say it today. And the second thing, Amar Azuz had pointed that there are a lot of ongoing upgrading processes, and he showed it for homes with international donors and NGOs, and those are doing upgrading. They are repairing the city. They are starting to make. So maybe we will have another competition, and also a lot of action for the return of refugees. But in fact, nobody can assert anything really right, because when we speak about reconstruction, we think peace, but peace is between two enemies, and here there is only one part who decide things. It's not reconstruction. It's not preparation of reconstruction in a context of peace. It's a context of calm only, I would say, but it's not. There is no reconciliation. There is no. So this we cannot say what will happen later, and we need further research. We need to wait. And finally, I would say that we also have to use the reconstruction domain of research to feed the informal settlement domain of research. Thank you very much.